I don't normally do this, but can I'm going to play you one of my favorite early Jack Ingram songs.
Nobody loves Jack Ingram songs more than me.
Real life, real music radio. With your host, Kyle Hutton.
Hello, everybody.
How you doing, Jack?
I'm good.
Good. Did you get a good view of the eclipse today?
I saw it all, buddy.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Protected your eyes, wore the proper gear.
Well, you know, in typical me fashion, I had to tap. My eyes are fine. But all that bullshit they say about ruining your eyes, I'm not buying it. I stared right into it. That's how I got in the music business. Do everything anybody tells you not to.
It takes that kind of just blind commitment, doesn't it? No pun intended.
It was pretty, though.
It was really neat. I don't know what the weather was like over in the hill country. It was a little overcast here, but we had moments of where we could see it really well.
It was a little overcast, but it was fine. Yeah, it was cool.
All right. Well,
traffic sucked, but all right.
Well, welcome back. You've done this show before. You know I'm going to ask more questions and talk more than you or anybody else in here wants me to. But why don't you kick us off with a song? Just whatever you feel like
Birds
playing
of a
to
feather.
Kick us off tonight.
All right. Well, let's see. Since we're being reverent about songwriting, this is one from a hero of mine named Guy Clark, who I studied his music. I also studied the back of the credits.
Yeah.
In my CDs. I read everything. Like, you know, Waylon Jennings sang background on Guy Clark records, and you know, just kind of you find out who everybody's friends are.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh wow, they got Larry Gatlin to come sing on something. And it's like, oh, I wonder how Guy Clark and Larry Gatlin know each other. And then it turns out they were roommates or something. You know, It's like. So anyway, this is a song that you know, the whole reason I got into music was to express myself in an authentic kind of way. And so it was hard for me to get over my heroes, because like this song really represents my take on life, and it kind of stunts your growth when you're like, well, fuck it. They already wrote that song. I don't need to worry about mine, because mine's not going to be as good. And then you just do it anyway, and you have your own special kind of way of sucking. Got an old blue shirt, suits me just fine. I like the way it feels, so I wear it all the time. Got an old guitar, it won't ever stay in tune. I like the way it sounds in a dark and empty room. Got an old pair of boots, fitting me just right. I can work all day, I can dance all night. Got an old used car, it runs like a top. I get the feeling it ain't ever gonna stop. Stuff that works, stuff that holds up, the kind of stuff you can't hang on the wall. Stuff that's real, stuff you feel, the kind of stuff you reach for when you fall. Got a pretty good friend who's seen me at my worst. He can't tell if I'm a blessing or a curse, but he always shows up when the chips are down. That's the kind of stuff I like to hang around. Stuff that works, stuff that holds up, the kind of stuff you can't hang on the wall. stuff you feel, the kind of stuff you reach for when you fall. I got a woman I love, she's crazy. But she paints like God. She's got a playground sense of justice. She does not take odds. I got a tattoo with her name right through my soul. I think everything that woman touches is gonna turn to gold. Stuff that works and holds up. Kind of stuff you can't hang on the wall. Stuff that's real. Stuff you feel. Kind of stuff you reach for. Stuff that works. Yeah, stuff that holds up. Kind of stuff you can't hang on the wall. Stuff that's real. Stuff you feel. Kind of stuff you reach for when you fall. Kind of stuff you reach for when you fall. Yeah, the kind of stuff you reach for. Stuff that works. Yeah. Thank you.
Talking about, I mean, kicking off a songwriter show with a Guy Clark song. Good choice. You got to spend some time with Guy.
I did. The last couple of years of his life, I got to hang out. Got to pick his brain and stole one of his marijuana cigarettes that I got framed on my wall.
Does it say, in case of emergency?
No, I got another stash for that, but... But no, it was fun. It was fun to watch him work because he was very thorough in words he chose and what he liked and what he didn't like, and
yeah,
he'd sit there and he'd roll a cigarette by hand with his little coffee can of tobacco, and then he'd roll a joint, and then I would watch him smoke it, and I'd be like, they look the same, and I could never tell if he knew what he was smoking, and I don't think it really mattered. And he always asked me if I wanted something. I'm like, hell no, I'm not getting high in here. I'll go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was fun to get to know him. He's one of my heroes, and he just had a way about him. He loved music and hated with a passion lazy songwriting. And so, he'd say, here, play me what you've been working on, and I'll play something. He'll go, what else you got? And after a while, it's just like, oh, okay. And I didn't go over there until I was 40 because I had always heard that he didn't suffer fools, and I knew what I was. And so I wasn't up for that kind of scrutiny.
Yeah.
And then by the time I got over there, I'd had some hits on the radio. I had some hits that I wrote. And I was like, I don't have to be scared of Guy Clark, old man. And so we hit it off. It was fun.
Yeah. So was there a song that you played for him where he kind of gave you the nod? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you went, okay, I made the cut.
Yeah, there was one in particular. That what he did, he wouldn't really jump for joy over anything. He would just, when I played him, this one was the first time he goes, good work. And That was his.
Okay.
That was his way of saying, "Okay, you can breathe now." Let me tune this real quick. But it was fun. It was really. One time we were sitting down. We were at his workbench down in his basement, and I had a song out called "Barefoot and Crazy," and it's as dumb as it sounds. It's about being barefoot and crazy. But anyway, during the shows at that time, I was on tour, and I had a deal with Justin Boots.
Okay.
And so I would take, during Barefoot and Crazy, I would take off my boots on stage and make a big to-do of it, and then I'd get them, get the microphone like this, straight up, and then I'd balance the boots on top of each other, and I was like, "Mom, I'm Elvis, I'm the best." And then I'd throw the boots out into the crowd. And so the last time I did that, the Justin Boots deal was over.
So, give those back.
And so I threw the boots out, and then I went back to the bus, and I was like, "Where are the boots?" They go, "Oh, we don't have any more." So I was like, "Oh, shit." So I had to go buy new boots. And I was in guy's basement with him, and "Those look like new boots." I said, "Yeah, he goes, well, that sucks." Because every Texan knows you got to wear them in. And so he goes, "What size boot do you wear?" And I said, 13. He goes, I'll go get you a pair of my old boots I'm not wearing anymore when we're done. I go, "We're done." Don't forget about me.
Boots.
Yeah, he gave me 2 pairs of boots. And truth be told, I was a little bit like Cinderella's stepsisters. Like, those boots were going to fit me no matter what size they were. But yeah, it was really cool. It was cool. He gave me a pair of his boots. It says GC on the boot straps.
That's awesome.
It's really cool. It was a highlight of my career. I mean, right up there with anything else cool that's happened. But this is the song that he seemed to like. And it took me a while to write this song. It's about the full circle of what we go through in this life, and anxiety is a big thing. I get stomach aches when I'm waiting in line at the movies. Just like this anxious. That's part of the reason why I write songs is to feel better for a couple hours. And I was thinking about that one day, and I realized that my anxiety comes from just wanting to, if somebody calls me and I don't know what they want, I send them to voicemail so I can hear their message to see what I'm walking into.
Yeah.
And, I just want to know everything's going to be all right. So that's what this song's about. People don't really like waiting. Well, I want to find out how it ends. But we all know that if we could do it all over, well, we'd all wait a lifetime to do it all over again. It all starts out smiling and happy. We light up this world just like a song. But fine lines and women and worry and children and choices along the way, well, they change who we are. And everyone says you can't go back. We all smile and say, hey, live and learn. But we all know that if we knew then what we know now, we'd just flip them the bird, make the same wrong turn. It's funny how dying is just like living. We all do it one day at a time. Smiles and sins, frowns and grins, they can get so confusing. Should we laugh, should we cry? The sadness is just a reflection from carnival mirrors that lie. The glass is half empty or it's half full, depending on truth or sunlight distorting the lines. And everyone says you can't go back. We all smile and say, hey, live and learn. But we all know that if we knew then what we know now, we just give them a wink and make the same wrong turn. Story. One time, a man loved a woman. Till death do us part, God, they tried. But I love you, I do. One day turned into I hate you and will till the day that I die. In the end, we all always say sorry. In the end, we all always blame pride. In the end, there's a flash. There's no good, there's no bad. In the end, it's before us. No wrong, no right. Still everyone says you can't go back. We all smile and say, hey, live and learn. But we all know that if we knew then what we know now, we'd just give a big smile and lean into the turn. So if people don't really like waiting, how about let's not wait until the end to say I love you, baby, I always knew if I could do it all over, I'd do it all over again, wouldn't you? Thank you.
Okay, so the very first time that I got to meet you and sit down and have you play some songs was in a hotel suite in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, at Music Fest, and that was probably, I mean, we hadn't been doing the show that long. I mean, it was probably at least 12 years ago, maybe 11 years ago. And it's interesting to me, like, I don't know, how my appreciation for your music and your artistry has changed. Because at the time, like, okay, just to give you an example, like we come to sit down with you and man, I mean, we're in there getting the sound right and the cables hid and the, you know, like we need this to be right because Jack Ingram is about to walk into the, and Big Dreams and High Hopes, I think had just come out, and man, you were riding that roller coaster at that time as an artist, and really that was what my experience was of you at the time that we sat down for the first time. As a fan, I came out and saw you at 10 Hall, like in the mid-90s, early 90s. Y'all remember 10 Hall? Yeah. Okay, come on. So I go out to see Jack Ingram, right? And so I'm telling you all this so that you understand. You talk about anxiety. You understand my anxiety. I'm a cat on a hot tin roof. You and I got a lot in common. So, he's about to walk into this hotel room. Well, my first time to see Jack Ingram as a fan, a buddy of mine that I'd been in the Sing Cadets with here at A&M was your tour manager or your road manager.
Oh yeah, Jeremy Elliott.
Jeremy Elliott, yeah. And he's like, dude, you got to come to the show. So I go out to 10 Hall, I come to the show. You maybe had released your first record and maybe Live at Adair's was out. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we come to see you. And one of the big, like maybe 93Q or something, got brought in as the radio station to announce the night. And the DJ, 10 Hall was packed with people. And the DJ got up there and went, "Hi, I'm I'm so-and-so from 93Q. And
Leslie Travis.
So glad to be here with you. No, it was a dude. It was a dude.
Rowdy Yates.
She was educated about the music. This guy was not.
I know you're talking about.
I don't know if it was Rowdy or not. But he said, so glad to be here tonight, listening to 93Q for your best country and all this kind of stuff. And I'm about to invite a guy up on the stage, and I just can't believe how many of y'all are here. Please welcome to the stage, Mr. Jack Ingram. And Jack came out, and I mean, this is who you were to me. That you came out and just went, I'm Jack Ingram, and I play country music, and I knew every one of you MFers were gonna be here tonight, and just the crowd. I mean, it just.
Yeah, that's funny,
dude. It just went off, right? And that DJ was kind of sitting over there going. Like that. But so you walk in at Steamboat, you know, I had just revered you as an artist and a songwriter, and you had just released that record. Man, so your music, when my kids were younger, and you met one of my kids, well, I don't know if you met him yet or not.
I met him.
Kaysen, yeah.
We were taking money at the door.
Yeah, well, that's another one. I'll make both my kids work here tonight. The one at the door, seating people, and then Kaysen's behind the camera over here. But Kaysen, well, I remember, he knew every word to Wherever You Are, and, that was the song that when the kids requested a song, it was either that one or Bikini Tops and
Barefoot and Crazy.
Yes, it was one of those.
I can put my boots on the mic stand.
Yeah, I want to see you.
You want me to?
So like at that moment in time when you first walked in to talk to us, it was for me about Jack Ingram, the guy I'd grown up going and watching the shows and then played for my kids, you know, in the Suburban, riding down the road in the hill country.
Yeah.
So just because we're in that moment right now, I want to ask, I know Wherever You Are was a #1 hit for you. How did you wind up recording that song? Was that a label deal? Had you heard the song and said, I need to cut that song?
So that was a time in my career when it was time to make the jump from bar band to whatever the next step was. And I had already lost 3 record deals by the time that happened. I signed a record deal and then made the record I wanted to make, and then I forgot to tell the labels that I also wanted to have success. They just, you know, when you come on real strong and with integrity, leading with integrity as far as your music goes, they'll let you make a record, but that doesn't mean they have to try and sell it if they don't think they're going to have success at radio. And so I had lost 3 record deals, and I was determined to make that jump from bar band to guy on the radio, guy that they play on Sunday mornings on the countdown shows. Yeah. And so I just kind of told my manager, I was like, hey, this time around, I'm not gonna be, you know, you can only flip the world off for so long. You know, you tell people to fuck off enough times and eventually they will. And so, I mean, that's just kind of was my experience as a young man. I think that's what young men are supposed to do. But, so I said, I'm gonna play ball. If we can find a song that I like, I don't have to write it. I just want, if they're sincere about working this song, and that took a long process to get something that the record label said that they were willing to work, because it takes, you might, you know, I don't want to get too in the weeds here, but every hit song you hear, that's about $1 million investment by somebody to get it up the charts. It's not just because people love it. It's because, just like any sales products, any product y'all are trying to sell, like you got to keep feeding the fire until it starts to burn on its own, and that takes a lot of money. And so finally, I found a song that I liked. I was like, okay, I would cut this, I would record this. If you think it's a hit, they're like, that's why we sent it to you. So we kind of came to an agreement. It was the first time I really had done business. You know, I mean, I'd done business at clubs and bars, but I was firmly I was an artist.
Yeah.
And it was the first time that commerce and art hit some kind of crossroads for me.
Yeah.
And so that's what was going on at that time. It went all the way to, it went to Wherever You Are, it was the first time I'd heard myself on the radio, and it went to number 40, and I was driving out of Auburn, Alabama, and Bob Kingsley came on the radio and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, with his debut performance coming in at number 40, it's Jack Ingram." And I was like, holy shit. And it was just like in the movies, like the music pipes up real loud in your head, and the car starts driving real fast, and the cops just, they're out of there. And hot chicks are on the side of the road. And it's like, but it was fun. And then about 4,000 radio interviews later, that's another thing that you don't realize, that for a young artist, I wasn't young, but I was young in the commercial side of things. I mean, to give you an example, I got Newcomer of the Year, Best Male New Artist of the Year, and I had been on the road 18 years. So it takes a while to become an overnight success. But this song went all the way to number 2, and then we were coming home from Kansas City, and like you mentioned, I got my start at 8 Air Saloon, this bar in Dallas on Commerce Street in Deep Ellum. And in order to get to Austin from Kansas City, you got to take 35 all the way down over Dallas, and you go over Deep Ellum on those overpasses. And my song, they'd gone all the way to number 2, and they hadn't played my song yet. And I was like, and nobody had told me what, you thought maybe they'd just forgotten me again or something. And then Bob Kingsley came on the radio and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, with the number 1 song in the land, it's Jack Ingram. He plays country music." And at that moment, we were driving over the bar I had my very first gig in. It was cool. Pretty romantic. So. This desert wind is burning my face again. Lord, I'm missing you. Been running blind under a broken sky with regrets I was sorting through. Lesson learned, yeah, I made the turn. Wherever you are, no matter how far, I'm gonna find my way to you. Through rivers of rain, over mountains of pain, whatever on earth I've gotta do, I'll follow the dream, I'll follow my heart. I've got to be wherever you are, wherever you are. So many miles to where we said goodbye, to the streets of shattered dreams. I'm praying hard you didn't start a life with someone who's not me. And if you're just gone, I'll be moving on to wherever you are. No matter how far, I'm gonna find my way to you. Through rivers of rain, over mountains of pain, whatever on earth I've gotta do, I'll follow that dream, I'll follow my heart. I've got to be wherever you are, wherever you are, wherever you are, wherever you are. Let that sunrise find me searching, let that west wind carry my plea. Give this changed man one more last chance. Open your arms to me. Wherever you are, wherever you are, wherever you are, wherever you are. Thank you.
Yeah, so it was during that kind of time period, that heyday with that I don't know, that expectation and just where I had you as an artist, right? When you first walked into that room for me to sit down and try to talk with you, and I don't know if you remember this or not, but we got about 4 songs in, and my engineer came over and started whispering in my ear, and you must have seen the troubled look on my face because you said, "What's up, man? What's happening? It's okay. What's happening?" and this is my engineer saying, "Kyle, I got the first 2 songs, and then the rig just started messing up, and we've missed like the last 3 songs. I've been over here trying to fix it," and I'm like going,
"Oh boy,
this is Jack Ingram. Oh my, what are you doing, Manny? Are we good? Is everything?" We're recording. Okay, he's back there. We're good. So anyway, man, that time that I got to spend with you was really me looking at you from an artist perspective at that time, and what I'd experienced of you. That didn't just include the things that kind of brought you into the more national limelight. Like to me, again, back in the 10 Hall days, I was already seeing kind of the groundswell of what was going on with you. And as a songwriter, I'll never forget, it was Roger Krager, because he and I had like cut our teeth writing songs here, and we're trying to figure out like what is that, and when can you call yourself a songwriter? How many songs do you have to write before you can call yourself a songwriter? And how good do they have to be? And like we're trying to figure all that out, right?
Yeah.
And he called me one day and he said, "Man, you have to listen to the song Biloxi on Jack Ingram's Hey You record."
Yeah.
And man, I think just like when you stood up there in front of that crowd and went, "I'm Jack Ingram, I play country music, and I knew you'd be here." That first line of Biloxi is it just hit me with an authenticity and maybe the permission that you could be that real.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's the thing. Like again, when Krager called me, he's like, "Dude, like, that's what you're looking for right there."
That's cool. That's cool.
Tell us. I mean, I know that one was born out of a.
That was the first song I ever wrote that was the truth. I thought you were supposed to make these things up, and so, but that was right about the same time I was learning how to do it all. And Willie Nelson just said, it's just all the great songwriters that I grew up idolizing. They all only had one thing really in common. I mean, besides a lot of other things, but the one thing that they all said was that you got to write what you know. And I thought, I don't know shit. Like, seriously. But so I was trying to write these like country songs, and I mean, I make a joke of it, but it's true. It's like you got to live. Or else, like Merle Haggard grew up in a boxcar, and I grew up on a golf course. So it was just a different kind of way to approach it. And I always kind of thought, I mean, it didn't turn out to be true, but I thought, what do I have to write about? I don't know anything, and I haven't, I went to SMU for God's sake. So it's like. So when I started to think about, okay, if you got to write what you know, well, the only thing I knew for sure is I thought my dad was an asshole. He moved out of our house when I was 17, which was fine. He just didn't tell anybody where he was going. And so I was kind of mad at him for a while. And a lot of people think this because I had a hard time with my dad. It's not. This song's not about anything my dad really did wrong. It was because I missed him. Like that's where the anger came from. I was like, where did you go? Like you're my touchstone, Dad. Like, and now you're in New Orleans or Biloxi. Like, what is this? What is this BS? And so anyway, I did talk to him, and he said, well, you know, because he taught me about Christopherson and Billy Joe Shaver and Willie and Waylon and Jerry Jeff, and so we would always drive around when I was a little kid and listening to his 8 tracks of all those great songwriters. And so when I was talking to him, I mean, don't get me wrong, we had a relationship, we talked, but it's just that underlying thing. And he goes, well, you know, I hear you're writing songs. I said, yeah. He goes, well, you know, all those great songwriters I taught you about, they all have a song about their old man. And I was like, no, really? He goes, you should write one about me. I was like, okay. Willie Nelson also said that if nobody hates your song, there's a real good chance nobody's going to love it. And that always rung true to me, too. And so I wrote this song about my dad, or my experience with him. And then I played it for my brother, my older brother, who keeps his cards a lot closer to the vest than I do. And when I was done, he just looked at me like, you're never going to play that song for anybody else ever again, are you? I said, why? Do you hate it? He goes, yeah, I hate it. I go, oh. Yeah, well, I'm probably going to play that for a long time. And so fast forward to that Christmas. My mother, who's a half a hippie, she's great. She decided that she was going to do the new age Christmas where divorced couples get back together over the holidays for the kids, so we could all be under one roof again. And it's really, let me tell you this from experience, it's great for the kids. Really, it's fantastic. Like, you had anxiety and anger and alcohol all together, and just stir that shit up in a punch bowl. God, it's fantastic. It's almost like a Christmas party. So everybody been drinking a little bit, and you know, and somebody said, hey, did you bring your guitar? So I did. I said, yeah. And I said, play some songs. So I played them all the Bob Dylan songs I knew, played them all the Jerry Jeff Walker songs, played them all the Indigo Girls songs. I mean, this was 1989. And then my dad said, hey, did you ever write that song about me? And my brother just goes, nope. I said, yeah, I did. He goes, you should play it. I go, no, let's wait for something much more festive. He goes, no, play the song. I go, no, really, Dad, it's not really a good idea tonight. And then he did that thing that dads can do. He just goes, play the damn song. So I said, okay. Where in hell did you go? You left us all alone. I wasn't even 18. You never turned around like some kid out on the run. You headed for the fun down in Biloxi and the Gulf of Mexico, where I guess the girls, they're pretty. Nobody says it's late. You can't stay out all night long and never have hell to pay in Biloxi. Even when you're 41, you just forget your problems down in Biloxi. And you only came around to take a rest or come down from Biloxi. But you were not the same, pretending that you cared, pretending you were there, not in Biloxi and the Gulf of Mexico, where I guess the girls, they're pretty. Nobody says it's late. You can't stay out all night long and never have hell to pay in Biloxi. Even though you're 41, you just forget your problems in Biloxi. Did you really think you'd find more than you left behind back home in Houston? We all felt the loss. Hey, I don't mean to bring you down, but I still wonder what you found there in Biloxi. Tell me, was it worth the cost? Well, I hope the girls were pretty. Nobody said it was late. I hope you stayed out all night long. I hope you never had hell to pay in Biloxi. Back when you were 41, you just forgot your problems in Biloxi. Yeah, thank you. So I'll tell you how that story ended. My brother was pissed. He was just looking at me like, I'd only seen him look at me one other time when he actually did hit me in the nose. And my sister was like, what is going on? And my dad was crying. Yeah. Ha-ha. And my mom just looked at the whole scene and goes, this is the best Christmas ever. Oh, man. So anyway.
So did that song in some ways kind of become I don't know, I guess a benchmark for you?
Well, I did. I just realized you only have to tell the truth once to realize that it's pretty good policy.
Be careful.
I don't always run by that policy in my personal life. But as far as songwriting goes, if you're not going to tell the truth, then it's not worth doing.
Yeah.
Because nobody ever wrote a song that wasn't truthful at some level. Even if you make it up, it's still got to be based in true, raw emotion somehow. Even if it's, hey, Little Queenie, or Jumpin' Jack Flash, it's like something in there has to be real for the writer, or else it's just not worth your time.
Yeah. I don't remember. I think it was Rodney Crowell and Roseanne Cash. Were they married?
Yeah, they were married.
Okay. Their only rule about writing songs about each other was it had to be true. That was the only rule.
Yeah, that's the only rule.
Yeah.
And,
they didn't stay together, I don't think.
No, well, that's the way it goes. I didn't say things were going to work out right. Yeah. But that's the comedian's rule. That's the songwriter's rule. It's anybody that's expressing themselves. I used to do shows with Charlie Robinson all the time. Remember Charlie? Yep. And we'd get pretty. Yeah, he was one of the great guys. Well, he wasn't a great guy, but he was one of the great ones.
He could drink whiskey.
He peed in my bed one time. I never really got over that.
I'm sorry, Charlie.
Well, the thing is that my wife was out of town. We acted like idiots all night long. Then he slept in the guest bedroom, and then I went in there later, and he made the bed. And I thought something's up. And he made the bed over his urine. I was like, you're going to get me killed, dude. So anyway, we had a saying, though, like even if he was here right now, and that would be an embarrassing thing. But one time we got off stage doing something just like this, and I said, hey, man, I didn't mean to hit you below the belt. He goes, if it's funny, you can say it. Like if it's real and you can say whatever, like that's the way the Rat Pack used to do it. They used to just be antagonize each other to no end. And it's like, well, if it's real and truthful, then you can do whatever. There's no rules up here.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Charlie for a minute, because man, again, so many artists have given me so much permission to explore sides of myself that I might not have given myself permission to. And one of the things that you've done is like, man, I love your angry Jack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're angry Jack when it comes out in your songs, and I get to feel that, and then I can tap in. I can take that as fuel for things I need to work out, you know, in my life. And with Charlie, man, it was just like being the guy in the room, and I'm an asshole, and I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He was good at that.
God, and you know, like to have that, you know, to have that free, and I got to spend a little bit of time. I've done several shows with him, and you know, it was funny. Some of the behind the scenes stuff that you get to have,
yeah,
and little pieces of wisdom that you get to hear. But I know recently you did. And I guess I'm pausing on Charlie for a minute because his brother Bruce, who I know really well, is our next guest. He's going to sit here in May, and if I'm being really honest, I'm a little, you know, I'm a little nervous about how much of the, you know, subject do I broach with him about his brother. I mean, one of my favorite songs in the world forever has been "My Brother and Me." Do I ask him to play that song?
Yeah, he'll play
not? You know what I'm saying? Like
I mean, I can't speak for him.
Yeah,
but,
no, I get it, but I'm just
that's
telling
the deal.
you.
It's one of the songs.
That's kind of some of the stuff that's going through my
yeah,
head.
but he's been pretty open about. You know, we're all over 50. He's almost 60 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Yeah.
He's opened up the
Pandora's box. Yeah.
Well, the skeletons in his closet.
Yeah.
They hang out in the open.
Well, I love him. I love Charlie. I know you did a benefit, or not a benefit. You just did a remembrance, basically, of Charlie recently. You want to play? I mean, play one of his songs.
Yeah, I'll play one of his.
What's one of his favorite songs? Your favorite songs of his?
One of my favorite songs. Yeah. Well, it kills kills. No pun intended. It's two birds with one stone because two of my best friends in the whole world passed away last year. One of them was Charlie, and one of them was a songwriter named Keith Gaddis, who was just unbelievable. He was like Christofferson to me. So this is a song Charlie did. It became one of his biggest songs, and it's one that Keith Gaddis wrote. And if you caught Charlie on the right night when he was just drunk enough, he'd tell you he wrote it, but it ain't true. I've been hanging around this place. I've been looking through your space. I've been waiting for you, waiting for you. All the places you would go, all the people that you know. I've been looking for you, looking for you. And all them pretty people up on El Cerrito Place, they all got something in their pockets, all got something on their face. And they roll down to La Brea, where it meets the boulevard, singing hallelujah while they dance over the stars. They all think they're going far. Me, I've been looking for you, baby. I've been looking for you, baby. I've been looking for you, baby. I've been looking for you, baby, all night long. All night long. All night long. Somebody said they might have seen you where the ocean meets the land. So I've been out here all night searching for your footprints in the sand, where
Did you hear the ocean singing? Tell me, did you sing along? Dancing on the water to some old forgotten song. Were you even here at all? I've been looking for you, baby. I've been looking for you, baby. I've been looking for you, baby. I've been looking for you, baby, all night long. All night long. All night long. Somehow I wound up in the desert just after daylight. That old Joshua tree grows, that little place you always liked. The Pioneer Town people, they ain't got too much to say. And if they might have seen you, they ain't giving you away. Now it's been 2 days, I'm still looking for you, baby. I'm still looking for you, baby. I've been looking for you, baby. I've been looking for you, baby, all night long. All night long. All night long. I think I'll head back to the city, back to El Cerrito Place. That's the last time that I saw that pretty smile upon your face. I've been looking for you, baby.
Love that song.
I do too.
Love that song.
Here's to Charlie and Keith.
Cheers
I got a
to those
joke with my
guys.
tour manager, Kevin. We always say this because Keith said it one night. And here's to Charlie and Keith. They were assholes, but they were our assholes.
Oh, man.
Cheers. I miss those boys.
Are y'all doing okay out there? Is everybody good this evening? All right. All right. So, yeah, I think, and then, you know, as I was saying, Jack, I think the first time we got together, man, I was just, you know, having to get over the anxiety of Jack Ingram, the rock star, being in the room and me getting to talk to him, you know.
But I turned out to be charming and approaching.
You were charming and approachable. Yeah, and
just showbiz trick.
Then second time you came and did you did the show on, you know, at the time, you know, we'd been doing the show probably for 8 or 9 years, and the funny thing is that every once in a while I'd have somebody like, you know, Bonnie Bishop or Walt Wilkins or somebody come through, and either your mom or your dad would show up at the show, and they would ask me, when are you going to have my son come play? And I'm like, dude, we are trying. Could y'all put in a word with him? We're trying to get him here.
That's funny.
And we finally got you to the Woodlands, and you got to hang out, and I felt like that time, you know, it was really just kind of talking to the hometown boy done good, right? And being there on your home turf, and you being in front of your friends and family, and us talking about your career, which was absolutely awesome. And for me, that included talking more kind of about the back catalog of stuff prior to like your number ones, and you going into more of kind of the national touring thing. Do you play Work This Out, or like talk to me about some of those songs? You know, man, Mustang Burn, anything that you put on your Live at Billy Bob's CD, Keep On Keeping On, all those great songs were just staple parts of your Barbie doll, staple parts of your career.
They still
we were
are
all listening to before people in, you know, Wichita, Kansas knew who you were.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's one of the things that is interesting and was tough to navigate. I mean, Texas, especially Texas country stuff, it's just like any other, not small market, but like everybody loves the hometown band. These guys are better than all, you know. better than Bon Jovi. Yeah. Why are y'all opening for Bon Jovi? Y'all are better than, Yeah. And all the local fans, the ones that loved you first, they have ownership. And they want the best for you until you get it. And then you're a sellout.
Yeah.
Like, I've been the next big thing 3 or 4 times. I mean, those days are over, but it's like, I went through a couple of those cycles where it's like, why are you selling out? Like, I'm not selling out, man. I'm trying to make a fucking living. Would you not take the corner office if you got offered it at work?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to stay in a fucking mailroom. God bless the mail boys.
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse my language, but it's like there was a frustration when it's like, oh, he's a sellout. It's like, hey, man, you know how hard it is out here? Yeah. I'll sell out every time somebody offers to buy. I used to have a saying like, yeah, I'm going to sell out every seat every night. But that's kind of the attitude you got to take, and it's like you got to be willing to fail hard in this business if you're going to ever succeed, and that's kind of how I've always looked at it. Like you got to lay it all out there.
Yeah.
Kind of like in football, if you're not hitting as hard as you can, you're going to get hurt.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's kind of the way I've always looked at it. It's like if you don't go as hard as you can, then the crowd will create a barrier, and you can't run through that wall.
Yeah.
So, but yes, I still hold those songs in high regard, just because I also learned that having hits is not all that's cracked up to be either. Like this is a lesson we've all learned or seen other people learn. It's like success didn't take the weight off my chest, but these songs do and did. This song is, once again, it was the truth. It was a song, I couldn't reach my wife. I couldn't reach inside her. I couldn't grab her heart. And our relationship seemed to be a series of me trying to reach in there and go, why don't you let me love you? And so, and it was always me saying, I want to work this out, but God, man, you're making it really hard. So
I really want to work this out. Is there something I gotta do? Tell me how to make things right, 'cause I've gotta get through to you. If I could find the right words to say to take away your doubt, we can't throw this away. Yeah, I really want to work this out. Tell me there's one thing I can't do again. I won't do that again. That something we're missing, we'll find it again. Find it again. Find it again. Yeah, I really want to work this out right here and right now, before we have to be apart, before we make the same mistakes again. Yeah, I really want to find our place, want to stop wasting all this time. I guess all that I'm trying to say, I want to work this out. Tell me there's one thing I can't do again. I won't do that again. That something we're missing, we'll find it again. Find it again. Find it again. Yeah, I really want to work this out right here, right now, before we have to be apart and make all the same mistakes again. Yeah, I really want to find our place, stop wasting my time and yours too. I guess all that I'm trying to say is I really want to work this out. Yeah, I guess what this is all about. I want to work this out.
I kind of wrote the same song like 20 years in a row.
Cheers to the drink.
There you go. Cheers.
Oh, man, this is a great time for me to say thanks again to the Stella Hotel for having us tonight. How about that? This is a beautiful place. Again, I say it's like sitting in a living room, but it sure ain't my living room. It's more like Jack's living room, not like mine. And Lake Walk. Y'all have built a beautiful community here. Thanks for wanting to have culture in it. If we're called culture, then thanks for having it.
Let's hope they call it something.
Yeah. Destination Brian.
By the way, I have to tell you guys, I'm looking out at the audience now for the first time, and really, I have a hard time. Anyway, I don't really look at the audience when I'm playing. And I notice now that some of y'all might not really like my mouth, my potty mouth. So, but we're all grown-ups here, so I hope I didn't offend anybody. I didn't see any children I need to work. Yeah. Stay in school. Thanks, so thank you.
Here's what happens. Anytime I tell our folks that we're going to have Jack Ingram on the show, the video guys are like, cool, man. YouTube has no limits on language. We don't have to do much editing at all. And then the syndicated radio guys go, Jack.
Beep. Beep.
Cheers to the syndicated radio guys.
I'm okay with beeps. It's fine.
Yeah, beeps. Cordless is on. Okay.
There you go.
So, Stella Hotel, Lake Walk. Destination Brian. I've got some of my friends back here. Destination Brian, thank you guys for helping us make nights like tonight possible. And last but not least, my friends at Blue Forge Alliance, who always have a beautiful group of people here with us that make evenings like tonight happen. And man, Jack, okay, so I'm trying to think. Okay, I'm going to ask you about one more song, and I'm going to tell you why I've been listening to it a lot lately. Well, not as much lately. I have to say that now, because if there's anybody in this room that tells the truth more than me, it's my wife.
Tara, yeah.
Yeah. And I was going to say, man, I listen to this song all the time when I run. But then Tara would go, you
don't run
in 4 months. Because it's true. We've moved into our new house. I've not gotten back into the rhythm. But I was doing really good.
Yeah. You look great. You look great.
No, thank you, man. I appreciate that. No, I had my regiment, and now, Bobby, don't shoot me some morning if I come running down your road, okay? Because what I've done a couple times is I drive the Ranger down into the property, and then I run down your road because it's a mile long, and I won't get run over like I might on the farm road. So don't shoot me if I'm on your road. But anyway, on my running playlist is a song, the live version of Keep On Keeping On.
Oh, yeah.
And I love it because not only do I get to hear Jack Ingram sing, I get to hear him preach like an old tent revival preacher in
that's
the
fun.
live version.
I said something about
Green
Oprah.
Hall.
Didn't I say something about Oprah?
Yeah, you're like...
Yeah. I can't remember. It's so... The only way I ever know I put on a good show is when I don't remember what I talked about.
Or go cheat on your boyfriend,
yeah.
The cool Jack Ingram stuff that you say. But you do that during that, and so it's got this great running beat, and then I get a sermon by some sort of backwards ass preacher, and then I get the song, and I get about 5 minutes worth of running.
That's a win-win-win
on that song. So tell us about that one. Maybe it's tattooed on your hat there.
Oh, that's right. I got this. A friend of mine put KOKO. That's kind of our mantra on the road. And she gave me this for the Texas Hall of Fame show. Brand new open road Stetson.
We're going to talk about that in just a minute. Not your Hall of Fame, the real Hall of Fame, but we'll talk about that. I'm not saying the Hall of Fame. I mean, look, Blue Kamikazes on a Thursday night, I knew all about the Hall of Fame. But this is a different
Hall the Hall of Fame, the one out here on this road.
About in a minute, all right?
That's the dumbest. Hey, Aggies do some dumb shit, but that was letting that one go. Come on, man. I mean, you couldn't have taken over a better name and with a better tradition. Y'all are all about tradition. Why didn't somebody open the Texas Hall of Fame again out here on? Anyway, I got that because I'm on the road, man. I don't care about bar staff.
No offense.
No, I don't care about telling y'all what to do.
We're getting a little low up here.
Sometimes you get beat up good.
drive yourself crazy being misunderstood. Sometimes you want to throw the towel in, come out swinging like you just might win. You gotta keep on, keeping on, push it on down the line. Keep on, keeping on, keep from getting further behind. Some days you wonder what it all means. Some nights ain't as bad as they seem. Sometimes you think that you've been had, run yourself ragged in a world gone mad. Keep on, keeping on, push it on down the road. Keep on, keeping on, still got a ways to go. Yeah, you gotta keep on, keeping on, push it on down the line. Keep on, keeping on, keep from getting further behind. Keep on, keeping on. You know, I stole this song. Sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug. Sometimes it all comes together, baby. Sometimes you're just a fool in love. Keep on. And I heard a saying by Harlan Howard, who wrote all the 1,000 songs that were #1 hits, and he said, "Amateurs borrow, professionals steal." And I took him at his word. Thank you.
I don't normally do this, but can I want to play you one of my favorite early Jack Ingram songs. I mean,
Nobody loves Jack Ingram songs more than me. This is fun. This never happens.
save me from myself if I. No, man, you talk about driving over that overpass in Deep Ellum. One of my favorite places, and probably one of my wife's least favorite places for me to go play was Adair Saloon.
Oh, yeah.
But Jack Ingram played there, so he made it famous. And then I went there, and Lois took a liking to me. And, man, it was the best tip jar and greasy hamburger with a jalapeno pepper on top of it that I'd ever had. And it was fun. It was fun playing there, especially in like the early mid '90s. That thing had something going.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So anyway, you put this song on your early records, and it's always been one of my favorites. No one can make me stammer and stutter, fall all over every word that I utter. No one can talk me into taking another view. No one else can make my heart flutter like you. No one drives me to exasperation. Nobody gives my heart palpitations except for you. No exaggeration, it's true. Yeah, no one else can make my heart flutter like you. Well, no one else can make my heart flutter. There's a hole over me, it's getting no cover. Till you tell me you'll be my lover, and you're convinced we were made for one another. You are the one and there ain't no other. No one else can pique my desire. No one else makes me a spinning tire, turning, churning, burning on fire for you. No one else can make mine. No one else can make mine. No one else can make my heart flutter like you. There you got it.
Wow, thanks, man. That's cool.
A trip to Adair's will get you a hamburger with a jalapeno on it.
It will. I used to get paid a burger at the end of my set and all the Pearl Light beer I could drink.
Yeah.
While I was playing. So as soon as I stopped, the beer lady ran out. And so I'm on record as having like the longest sets in Dallas history. But yeah, free Pearl Light beer. I found out you can drink Pearl Light beer all night long and never even catch a buzz. That's a tough lesson to learn. I'm going to play a song that kind of, I don't know how much more time we have.
Yeah, no, you're good, because I'm gonna shift gears here in just a minute. And but what are you thinking?
I'm going to play a song that has to do with today, with the eclipse, with the sun and the moon, and it's appropriate. I told you, I wrote the same song for 20 years, but I recently have gotten divorced, and I've been recently seeing this. Well, she's not young; she's my age, but this beautiful woman with a beautiful soul and a beautiful mother that lives with us. And we were out on the porch watching the moon one night, and this is early on when we'd had some wine, and she said, so we were still in the phase where she was really interested in. But it's like, how do you write these songs? Like, what? She's a big fan of music, and she's like, well, how do you do that? Like, how's that work? And I said, well, I don't really know. But you just kind of look up to the sky and you grab something, or you look around and you grab something that's interesting to you. And I said, see, we were watching the moon as it was kind of going across the sky, and I said, like, see the moon? I've always had this theory that the moon and the sun talk to each other as one's going to bed and one's going to work, whichever way that plays out. And so I was like, whoa, that's the premise. That I think there's a communication there, and it maybe the moon talks to the sun, and they both shine their lights down on everyone. Maybe lights shine down into the clouds, and the wind blows them away. They all take a bow, and maybe some kid is making his very first wish, and he's hoping that maybe the moon maybe the moon really does know a man who lives way up there, just to prove that he can. And maybe he's laughing, he's up there just cackling. He just can't believe that we're all down here asking. Answer one question. If you don't know the answers, what the hell are we all supposed to do? And meanwhile, that kid is making his very first wish, and he's hoping that maybe the moon, maybe the moon really does have a plan. Her tides make the oceans turn glass into sand. And women, God, women, when you're full in the sky, they dance in your wonder, and I don't wonder why. Yeah, maybe some kid making his very first wish, maybe the moon. Yeah, it may be the moon. Maybe the moon. Maybe the moon.
Okay, so the first couple of times we got together, first time I'm in full, rock star Jack Ingram mode. The time in the Woodlands, man, really felt like we were taking a trip down memory lane with your friends and family, you know, talking about your career. And now, this third time that we're sitting here tonight, I'm, you know, I had the opportunity a few weeks ago to be at the Texas Songwriters Hall of Fame event.
Yeah.
And man, I just want to tell you, you know, I think you and I share a lot of similar thoughts and connections to music.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Jack Ingram's one of the newest inductees into the Texas Songwriters Hall of Fame. And man, that's a big deal because I mean, just like a lot of musicians, I think you picked up the guitar for all the reasons that you did, and kept doing it for all the reasons that you did. But at this point, you know, I don't feel like I'm just talking to Jack Ingram, the rock star, Jack Ingram, the hometown boy that's done well and made it, toured with all these national acts and done everything that you've done at the big show. But now we're kind of back to that conversation of your dad's 8-track tapes and Christofferson and Billy Joe Shaver, and I mean those guys are in this too, and now you've been inducted. And so first of all, I want to ask, number one, how does that feel? Can you even absorb that? And then number two, like just how are you feeling about that?
Well, it's an honor. You know, I mean, I grew up, like I said, I say it all the time, listening to this, like really patterning my approach to songwriting after my heroes, Guy and Jerry Jeff and Willie and Waylon and all the Texas guys, all the great songwriters that are all the great storytellers. That's why I got into this, was because I wanted to climb inside those stories and go, what's going on in here? Yeah. And so it feels great to be recognized alongside those guys. And then there's the part of you that you know, has imposter syndrome and kind of goes, well, they just gave it to me because I helped them sell the show because I'm famous, or you know, like I'm not really that great a songwriter. And then there's the part of me that goes, yeah, I'm fucking awesome.
Isn't it funny though?
It's like such a schizophrenic brain, man. It's like,
but you majored.
You're the best. You're the worst. You suck. You're fantastic.
You majored in this. At SMU, and I mean, I saw a deal the other day where Bruce Springsteen was talking about imposter syndrome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, like, imagine being Bruce.
Everybody in here that's in a position of influence, if they feel 100% confident in their abilities and can perform in the position that they're in, if they're being honest, they would say, I know what imposter syndrome is because I deal with that inside my head.
Of course. I mean, imagine if you're Bruce and you get the whole world thinking, calling you the boss, and it's Bruce Springsteen. He didn't ever walk around in his underwear.
Yeah.
It's like, he does. I got to see Chris Christofferson one time at the Ryman, and it was one of those kinds of moments because he was having a hissy fit because his wife didn't know where his polka dotted boxers were, and those were his lucky boxer shorts. And he was playing, you know, like just I saw like this real. He had a look of panic on his face, and I was like, Christofferson, A, wears polka dot boxers, and B, like, can't go on stage without him. Like, it's nice to, you know, he wrote Sunday Morning Coming Down, and he can't find his underwear.
That's a perspective right there, right?
But yeah, you know, I mean, that whole thing about being, you have to have some kind of ego to be in this business in any length of time, and to have any real success. Because you gotta stick it out when things aren't going your way, and you gotta go, no, I'm better than all those motherfuckers. And you gotta believe it, or else you can't jump in the water.
Yeah.
And you know, you gotta. It's amazing. I mean, the brain. I did study this in college, like, so the brain kind of, and it's like, you know, people learn to swim, man. They jump in the water.
Yeah.
that's kind of what I did in the music business. Like I don't belong. There's no reason that I should have gone into music. But when I decided to do it, I was like, well, okay, if I'm going to go, I'm going to go all the way.
Yeah.
And you got to have a healthy ego.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm friends with some guys that, like Roger Clemens. You know, you got to have that kind of ego. Like some people think he's an asshole and some people think he's the best. Well, he's both. And you got to have a big chip on your shoulder to look at 20-year-olds when you're 40 and go, I'll still knock you out more.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
So yeah,
okay.
That's what being in the Hall of Fame is like. Is all that stuff rolled into one.
So then knock us out with the 2018 ACM Song of the Year.
Yeah, man.
You, Miranda Lambert, John Randall. Who, by the way, I got to get John to come sit in here and do this.
He'd be great.
Golly, he's amazing. You know, obviously the Marfa tapes, what you guys have done out there, I just love the whole thing from how it's recorded.
Me too.
To
Thank you.
what you're doing. It's refreshing. And I actually, you know, like, I don't know Miranda Lambert, okay? I mean, I knew her before she did anything.
Yeah,
right?
we all
and
did.
then I haven't talked to her since. But when she did that, man, that record is art. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
and I'm not saying her other stuff's not art, but that to me is like.
But that's part of the magic of Miranda is that she didn't have to do that. I mean,
Right.
She could have taken some of those songs and recorded them in the studio with a full band and done the whole thing, and that would have been just fine. But she, she still wins Female Vocalist of the Year, and she's a royalty in country music, and.
I was just getting y'all some reviews. Requests from the crowd.
Oh wow! Thank you.
Is your name
Very
Allie?
much.
It's Allie, yes, sir.
Awesome. Forget everything Jack said about bartenders and wait staff earlier.
Hey man, that's one of my favorite parts about being in this business, by the way, is
Free beer.
well, that used to be a little more important than it is now, but is that I've always gotten to hang out with the wait staff out back behind the kitchen. That's where the real shit goes down.
And by the way, thank you for whoever just sent those up here. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Lacey.
Oh, thank you, Lacey.
Thanks, Allie. I figured you'd bring some whiskey too, but it's all right. Thank you. Don't ask Kevin what to do, especially when it comes to a vice of mine. So anyway, the whole Marfa Tapes project came about because Miranda Lambert's got balls. Because at the height of your career, when you're a mainstream country music star, the last thing you want to do is throw your audience for a loop.
Yeah.
That's the business side, and the truth of that is the truth. But the artist side is always playing tug of war with the business side, and Miranda doesn't allow that to happen. If she has an idea commercially, she does it. If she has an idea artistically, that's what she does. And if you don't like it, you can kiss her big white ass. And I just love that about her. That's why she's so fun to be with, because she's like hanging out with your best friend, who's like, she'll get muddy with you. It's fun. So we were in Marfa, and we were talking. The stars came out, and we're watching the light show, and we started talking about how people tell you to follow your heart, and we should, and we do. But nobody tells you how hard that can be and how badly that can hurt sometimes, and so we decided to warn the Tin Man. Well, hey there, Mr. Tin Man.
don't know how lucky you are. Shouldn't spend your whole life wishing for something bound to fall apart. Every time you're feeling empty, better thank your lucky stars. 'Cause if you ever felt one breaking, you never want a heart. Hey there, Mr. Tin Man. You don't know how lucky you are. I've been down the road that you're on. Didn't get me very far. Hey, buddy, you ain't missing nothing. Love is so damn hard. Take it from me, darling. You don't want a heart. Hey there, Mr. Tin Man. I'm glad we talked this out. Take mine if you want it, 'cause it's in pieces now. And by the way there, Mr. Tin Man, you don't mind the scar, how about you give me your armor? You can have my heart. Thank you.
Have y'all had a good time tonight?
Good.
So, Jack, you kicked us off this evening with a Guy Clark shirt, Guy Clark song, talking about my shirt,
Yeah,
my old blue shirt.
that's right.
Where's Bailey? Bailey, where are you?
Hey,
at
Bailey.
Six Whiskey. You've been in her store in Marfa. She had a store in Marfa at one point, but now it's right down the road here. It's right down.
We did?
It was whiskey. You don't remember? It was whiskey.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember.
It's an interesting store. You can go in and
Did
buy
Miranda
stuff.
buy a hat there or something?
She did. Her blue hat.
Yeah,
There
I
you
remember.
go. See, there you go.
I got my
You
shit
and
together.
Bailey go way back. So, you like my blue shirt? I got it at Six Whiskey. They are sponsors of our show.
Yeah, I love it.
You
Six
like it?
Six
Pretty
Whiskey.
Cool, right?
Yeah.
So what's going to happen next week? I told you we're going to have Bruce Robeson, right? Come hang out with us on May the 13th. Yeah, thank you. And here's what we're going to do. I want you to go meet Bailey and her crew over at 6 Whiskey. So here's the way we're going to do this. They close the store at 6 o'clock. After 6 o'clock, if you are one of our season ticket holders or a guest of one of our season ticket holders and you go to 6 Whiskey, they're going to do special like whiskey tasting. She's got all kinds of amazing whiskeys over there. And just to tell you, because we're telling the truth tonight, she's going to get you drunk and sell you a lot of stuff. But it's better than being sold a lot of stuff and not being drunk. So just take the good with the bad.
That's right.
You're going to go over there. You're going to go in. Try the whiskey. She does whiskey and chocolate tastings, right? She pairs them up. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so between 6 and 7:30, you go over, check out the store, have some whiskey, have some chocolate, visit with Bailey.
What day is this?
This is going to be May 13th.
May
it's a
13th.
Monday. You can come hang out with Bruce. But here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go. I'm a great pawn shop guitar guy. I bought that one. Now, I won't find probably one like this, but I found this. You know that pawn shop next to Do-Si-Do in the Woodlands? 69 Martin.
Wow.
Guitar that I bought at that pawn shop next door. It won't be a 69 Martin, but I'm going to go pawn shopping. I'm going to find a guitar, and I'm going to have Bruce sign it, all right? And we're going to give it to somebody that went into 6 Whiskey that night and drank whiskey and had chocolate and met Bailey and enjoyed the store. So that's what we're going to do next week. So between 6 and 7:30, I'll send it out in an email to all you guys prior. But man, go support people that support culture where you live. And thank you, Bailey. Thanks for my shirt. Thanks for taking care of us. We appreciate that. Okay, so Jack, you wrote a song. I think it's probably my wife's favorite Jack Ingram song. I think it first showed up on the Electric album, didn't it? Is that where Goodnight Moon first showed up?
Yeah. Good. I'm so glad I know it.
Yeah.
That first showed up
and
there.
And before you play it, thank you, man. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for
having
coming
me.
and hanging out with us.
Thanks for having
this
me.
conversation. I'm really happy for you, man. I'm happy for you in life. I'm happy for you in your recognition. Due recognition as a songwriter. Thanks for all the years and miles you put in.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah,
Appreciate it, Kyle. And thank you. Thanks for having me. Thanks for this. I know there's a lot of energy that goes into curating this kind of program and the way you go about it, and it's very systematic and it's appreciated.
Thank you.
I wrote a song about that pawn shop, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Because it used to have a sign on it that said "Guitars, Guns, and Gold."
Yeah, you did.
I got a song called "Guitars, Guns, and Gold."
Really?
Because I used to drive by there all the time. Wow.
You can play 2 more.
No, I hadn't played that in a long time. But it was a fun song to write. It's about a kid from the suburbs that steals pills and sells them, and for guitars, guns, and gold. It's very uplifting. Very. Stay off drugs. Watch your language. Good night, moon. Good night, stars. Good night, old broke down cars. I'm gonna wait. I'm leaving soon. Good night, darling. Good night, moon. I don't know where I'll be, and I don't know if I'll see out the window of my room shining down. Good night, moon. Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna miss you when the night comes round. That's when I long to kiss you with the moon shining on.
ground. So good night, moon. Good night, stars. Good night, old broke down cars. I'm gone away. I'm leaving soon. Good night, darling. Good night, moon. Yeah, good night, darling. Good night, moon.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jack Ingram.
Thanks for. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for listening and being here and supporting this kind of program. I appreciate it. Thanks, Joe.
Thank y'all for being here tonight. Once again, thank you, Stella Hotel, Lake Walk, Destination Bryan, Blue Forge Alliance.